So I want everyone to realize that, when it comes to self-care, you can break it up into different areas. So in life, generally, I would say there's like the Fab Five. You have your family, you have fitness, you have faith, you have friends and fun, that would be in one category, and then you have finance. So those are the five. And, we touched on faith a little bit in the beginning. So I think it'd be great for us to just talk about relationships and, what role does family and friends play in terms of productivity and self-care. For me, I think it's important that you create a happy space and you create a safe space. So a part of that is setting up boundaries. And a big, big part of setting up boundaries is learning to say no. A lot of people have this all access pass, like people can always get to you, people always have access to you, you can never say no, and that is not healthy.
I really love that you said that, because I've even seen you on our calls, because we're helping each other with, the skills that, we can help each other with. And the other one, that we can have accountability and support. And I love that when like your kids come in or something, a lot of people can get sucked into that parental guilt that they always have to be there for the kid, or like the kid wants something, you have to give it to them right away. And I actually disagree with that, because then it teaches the kid, like, they can have whatever they want whenever they want. And there's no like structure or rules or boundaries. And so I really love that about you, that you practice what you preach, and you say, hold on one second. And then you're like, mommy's going to talk to you later or whatever, So I think that that's like really great, the structure and like the expectations.
Right. And a lot of people think that children are too young to understand. Like right now, my kids normally go to bed at 7:30. So at 7:15, when I was sending them off to bed, I said, Mommy's going to record. Do not come into the room. I'm in the guest room right now. They can be in their room. They can go to the living room, whatever they want to do, but do not come into this room. And they're 3 and 5, and they understand that. So I think it's important to have these conversations, to set up boundaries, and just to say, Mommy needs a minute. This is Mommy's time. Just explain those things to them.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely helps with preventing that overwhelm where you feel like there's just so much going on. You're saying yes to everyone and you're not saying yes to yourself. I remember like probably week 3 of quarantine, I was saying yes to every webinar, every Zoom meetup, every birthday party. Yours was fun, Fallon, so I don't regret that. Every prayer call, I was on everything, and there was just information overload. And I was like, why am I so busy? This is not a productive use of my time. It's busy work, it's activity, but it's definitely not productivity.
I love that.
What about you? Like, how do you feel family or friends fit in and relationships fit into self-care?
So I think listening to your intuition when you're around people is so important. And, I used to think like, if I felt this like zing, like it was that I had a connection with someone. And then over time I realized, oh, that zing is like a feeling of like danger, right? So like I don't feel safe with this person. Like with you, for example, I feel super safe with, but there's some people that your intuition says, trust this person, don't trust this person. And a big thing is trusting yourself, that you got yourself no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what other people do. But I think that really listening to how you feel around someone, like, do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel valued? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel attractive? Do you feel smart? Because some people naturally make you feel comfortable, and some people naturally don't. So I think that's really important information. I think not having guilt or questioning ourselves about that, and really like surrounding ourselves with people that nourish us, I think that's very important in all areas, like in friendship and work and family. And I also feel that a lot of people think boundaries, they think it just has to be really hard. And I did a video about this recently, but I think the boundaries can actually bring people closer together, because like, this is what I need. Now tell me what you need. And it can be more of a cooperation. And then the other thing is, with boundary setting, you really want to make sure there's a consequence. And like I said, I just covered this in another video, but if there's no viewers, so you know, if someone does something the first time, this has crossed my boundary. If someone's done this the second time, I already told you this crossed my boundary. If you do it again, this is the consequence. And you have to be able to stick with it. Like, I studied parenting in my undergrad. I don't have kids, I have a dog, but my topic was parenting, and it was like the number one thing is consistency, and like
Yeah.
that they know that you mean your word. And a lot of parents, if they don't want to upset the kids or they want them to hate them, they, you know, feel bad, they might feel guilty, they're working all the time, they're not going to do that. So I really think that, you know, sticking with whatever the rules are or the consequences, and it might not be like, you did this, so I'm going to break up with you, but it might be like, I'm not going to make plans with you in advance, like you said to me earlier. And so I think that that's, you know, that's really important. It's just like sticking to your rules and what you want with self-care.
Yeah. And I really love what you said about, basically 3 strikes, you're out. I think you nailed it. And another thing I would add is knowing your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and I'm going to talk in the past tense because I'm not like this anymore because of Fallon. I was such an emotional eater, but I didn't know that. So I would notice that I'm eating donuts and I'm eating all these comfort foods, heavy carbs, sweet treats, desserts. And because I'm such a positive person and optimistic person, I'm not realizing that I'm actually stressed about something until like 3, 4 donuts later. I'm like, wait, what is going on? Something triggered. Something is stressing me out. I'm trying to cope with something. So I think you should definitely know your triggers. If you're the kind of person who you snap at somebody once you're stressed, or you start to grab for that sweet treat once you're stressed, try to know what that trigger is, what sets you off. Is it a lack of sleep? Is it that you feel someone is taking advantage of you? Whatever that is, figure out what it is, be proactive about preventing that, and then also have a reactive response where when you start to feel this way, you have a replacement. So for me, I can't draw for the sweet treat anymore. So I have to either meditate through it or talk through it or take a walk or eat a piece of celery. But it's important to me that I'm making decisions that align with what I want for myself. A lot of times we have conflicting goals. So I'll say, oh, I want to get snatched, I want to be slim, but you're grabbing for the donut. Do you want to be a snack or you want to eat a snack? Make a decision, because these, they conflict. You have to decide what you want. So
Yeah. That reminds me about your triggers. Like, so I went to AA when I was 23 for like 6 months, and I'm sober. But they always like I remember my first AA meeting. I got convinced by someone to go. I didn't know anything about it. I was 23 in sorority partying. That's how I met Roseanne in my sorority. And I remember going in, and I thought people were gonna be like drunks. And I remember this guy. It was 7:30 in the morning meeting. He was in a business suit, and it was like nothing, no discussion about alcohol. And I was so confused. And he was just like, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And I remember that. And it's true, like, those are 4 of the main triggers. And, sometimes like if we are getting really upset at someone, or sometimes we just need to take a nap, and, or our body, when we're dehydrated, it's, a lot of negative psychological and physiological impacts. Sometimes we need to just make sure we're drinking enough water. Sometimes we're just hungry and our blood sugar is low. So I really think, knowing our triggers is like you said, super, super important. So if you want to get into more of the body stuff, do you want to tell us more about your journey with it, or I can go into mine?
So fitness and health and losing weight has always been a journey for me. For some reason, I used to just fluctuate up and down, up and down, up and down. And then once I had my first kid, I went all the way to 194, coming from 160. And then after my kid, I was like 182. Then I had my second child. But what I realized is after my second child, I was still gaining weight. So then I couldn't even blame the babies anymore. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I have to get a hold on this. My younger child is 3 years old. I can't really blame the baby anymore. So I've just been on this journey where I'm being more conscious about what I eat. I'm talking to Fallon for accountability because I won't do a spoiler, but she has had some amazing results. And, I just reached out to her and I'm like, tell me what's going on. How can I really take the plunge and be serious about it? Like, I don't want to diet. I don't want to just do all these fad diets for the rest of my life. I really want to make this a lifestyle. So when you know somebody who's had success, you talk to them and you see what's important. So I think we should definitely make fitness a priority because it is absolutely a part of your self-care.
100%. Yeah, I was always up and down. I was always a yo-yo dieter, and I could do something really strict for a short amount of time, and then all of a sudden, the diet would be over, say Whole30, or for example, I would just go right back up.
Binge.
So for me, I do this balancing hormones plan, and I lost 34 pounds of fat. And the reason I say 34 pounds of fat is because I lost like 31 pounds, but I gained 3 pounds of muscle, just with diet, like no exercise. And that's something I teach in my New You program. But movement is very important. I'm doing a Instagram live Tuesday at 5 about why movement is important. But definitely, everything that we put into our body affects our mind. It's literally like we are what we eat. So if we're eating all this stuff that with ingredients that we can't pronounce, our body doesn't know how to digest chemicals, and it goes into our intestines and our colon. And actually 90% of our serotonin is produced in our colon and in our gut. So if we're having chemicals in there, it's just creating like a sludge along the intestine walls, and the nutrients can't get through, and then we actually become malnourished and all of these problems. So definitely self-care is what we eat and how we take care of ourselves. And even a lot of people, like, you can make your own ketchup if it has preservatives in it, with like organic tomato paste, a little bit of organic vinegar, and maybe some stevia, organic raw cane sugar, and mix it up. So there's like so many things that we can do to have the food actually nourish us, versus just grabbing a box of cereal or whatever.
Yeah. And even on that topic, I want to talk about body shaming, because I feel like just how someone will try to do the whole productivity debate and tell you that you're not doing enough or you're doing too much. I think it's the same thing when it comes to fitness and your body.
Mhm.
A lot of people body shame or receive, like, be on the receiving end of that. And I don't want anyone who's listening to this to ever take that weight on. Like, you are responsible for your body, but do not let anyone to body shame you, tell you how you're supposed to look. Because a lot of people, I've noticed when people start to lose weight, everyone will start saying, "Oh, you're getting too thin. Do you think you need to go down further?" And I'm like, when the person was unhealthy, no one said anything to them. But now that they actually look good and their heart is healthy, you want to body shame them. So whether the person is thin, whether the person is thick, I don't think it's anyone's right to talk about someone's body.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because there's a lot of buzz now around body shaming with like plus size models and stuff, and that pro plus size models, and but it also goes the other way, which I like. I like that you're saying that, because people have said to me like, you weigh 119 pounds, like you don't want to get too thin, like how much farther are you going to go, and then I have to be like, well, I want to like decrease to a certain level of body fat that is actually researched and proven as healthy. So either way, like you said, like no one should judge anyone for what they want and how they want
Right.
to feel. It's completely up to us, and we have 100% responsibility for how we look, how we feel, what we do, what we create. And a lot of people like to be victims and victim mentality. This person, I can't do this because of my husband,
Yeah.
and the only way that we're going to be able to create change and transformation and what we want is when we take 100% responsibility, like for what we want, for our actions, for how to create it. So hopefully you all will take 100% responsibility now for your health.
Right. Absolutely. And